This is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. Here's what's happening. Public safety on the minds of many people as Billings continues to grow. And so does crime and many other problems. The question, are you willing to pay even more in taxes to do something about it? Well, tonight the Billings City Council began 3 days of workshops for the next fiscal budget and discussion of another possible public safety mill levy. Officials for the courts, codes, and police and fire departments presented their budget proposal wish list to council. City Administrator Chris Kukalski told council that another public safety mill levy is needed this year to make the community safer and meet additional budget needs. Several members of the public weighed in during tonight's meeting.
But if we go another year with what we have, I'll be here next year saying, I'm not going to operate a business anymore where somebody is killed so I can serve a hamburger. That's not fair to anyone. That's not what we're here to do. So I challenge you, find more money, give the chief a lot more than he's asking for, and let's make Billings a little bit safer in the next year.
I believe you can throw all the money in the world that you want to throw at the Billings Police Department, but without basic trust and basic integrity, that money is going to go to waste.
There has to be a plan. We want to know what's going to be done, but from a monetary standpoint and support standpoint, we are behind you 100%.
Every day that I've been here, this has been the number one priority, and it was it before us. Sometimes I fear that council or citizens can say, well, every city would say this is its number one priority. If they're dealing with what we're dealing with, yes, this will be their number one priority, but not all communities deal with this at this level.
The city administrator said that an additional $6.4 million in public safety resources are needed to fully implement CPSM recommendations. That would come out to an additional $96 a year for the average homeowner, or about $8 a month. In the end, council voted 9-2 to move forward with implementing a mill levy, with hopes of putting it before voters in November. Well, today the Billings Public Schools revealed a major change for graduation day, as more family and friends can now attend ceremonies on Sunday, May 30th. This comes as COVID-19 cases drop in our community and vaccinations are more readily available. School District 2 previously planned a ticket system with just 6 attendees for every graduate. However, that's now changed. Superintendent Greg Upham says the district has been in constant evaluation with the Unified Health Command. Now they're opening up ceremonies to include more guests. Still, he's hoping that families will remain vigilant and only invite essential family and friends.
We've worked collaboratively together in Yellowstone County. I've worked with the medical community and listened to our parents and our students and tried to balance all that out. Hopefully this is another good decision that works for our entire community, and I think it takes a community to assist too. I mean, people are coming in, you have to take care of your end of it too.
Upham says students and staff will be wearing masks. Graduation day for all 3 Billings Public High Schools set for Sunday, May 30th at Metro Park. West High graduation begins at 10 a.m. Skyview begins at 2 p.m. and Senior High will wrap the day up with graduation beginning at 6 p.m. And the last day of school for all other students across the district is Friday, June 5th. Another major move forward for a proposed for-profit medical school here in Billings. Late today in a news release, Rocky Vista announced accreditation for its future $78 million venture in West Billings. The Montana College of Osteopathic Medicine is now accredited so it can take shape with a 135,000 square foot facility on a 12-acre campus. A piece of land is just off the intersection of Shiloh and Monad Roads. The idea has mixed reaction across the community. Big Sky Economic Development, St. Vincent Healthcare, and Riverstone Health support the campus. At the end of March, Billings Clinic came out against it, citing concerns about its partnership with the University of Washington that already supplies residents to 5 states. Hospital leaders also cited what they called ethnically insensitive and sexist comments made by representatives of the medical school. Well, Dr. David Park, the founding dean of the medical college, said in a statement tonight, "We are excited about this advancement in the development of Montana's new medical school in Billings. Our goal is to bring innovative and high-quality medical education to the region with an inclusive mindset." However, a recent opinion piece in the Billings Gazette signed by 51 Montana physicians stated, We cannot solve the physician shortage by simply creating more medical students. Currently, there are more medical school graduates than there are internship and residency opportunities. Rocky Vista Provost David Fornstein said today that they are thrilled with the approval to move forward on the next step in the Billings project. RVU expects to admit its first class of 80 students in the summer of 2023. Tonight, the debate over abortion rights is back in the national spotlight as the Supreme Court agrees to take up the most direct challenge to Roe v. Wade in a generation. The justices will look at a case out of Mississippi which looks to roll back abortion rights. That case would stop abortions after the 15th week of pregnancy. According to the CDC, the majority of abortions take place during the first 13 weeks of pregnancy. Mississippi's appeal is the first major abortion-related case to reach the Supreme Court from a wave of state laws intended to challenge the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision. The case will likely be argued in the fall, with the decision coming down in the spring of 2022. Well, the U.S. Supreme Court's decision today to take up the case banning later-term abortions could have ramifications here in Montana, where a similar ban became law just weeks ago. But Montana's own state constitution is also a factor in the fate of new abortion restrictions across the state. Currently, Montana's new law bans abortions after 20 weeks. Abortion opponents like the Montana Family Foundation say both bans are common sense laws that protect unborn children that have a heartbeat and can feel pain. It also says the U.S. Supreme Court has often recognized that states can regulate late-term abortion, but Martha Stahl of Planned Parenthood Montana says many late-term abortion bans are on hold as they move through federal courts. She says today's decision by the court to accept the Mississippi case is not good news for abortion rights and could indicate the court may uphold such bans. However, she also notes that Montana's state constitution has a stronger right to privacy than the U.S. Constitution and could have the last word.
There are states that have no constitutional protections around the right to abortion. And in those states, they would have to operate under what the Supreme Court said. But because Montana's state constitution is stronger, Montana is sort of an exception to that. Once the Supreme Court says we're upholding what this one state did, it then does go back to the rest of the states to either do something proactively or not.
Abortion rights advocates have indicated they plan to challenge Montana's late-term abortion law in court. All right, time to take a quick look at weather with Ed McIntosh, and also time to head into the weekend's mailbag, which, Ed, you were saying it was full of some great photos.
That's right. We come back and got to take a look at some of the photos that you've been sharing with us. Let's start off with Lynn, this one from around the Powell area from early in the morning. Always some beautiful shots, Lynn. Thanks for sharing those. Also across the area, how about how warm it was today? Kathy had her thermometer reading at 93 degrees in the Laurel area. Everybody was feeling the warmth. And John, some of my favorite pictures of the day from Yellowstone National Park. It's a great time to go down and see the park where this blue heron was catching a fish in the Hayden Valley. And then also, Brian shared this one from over the weekend around Sweetgrass County. You can see the crazy mountains off into the background. And our friend John Potter down around Cody where the clouds were building up today. And that ended up with some showers and thunderstorms. Closer look at that information coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Ed. Those were some great pictures. Well, a community tradition is back. The Central Christian Church book sale opened its doors today for the first time in more than a year. And its founder says he needs your help to get rid of the largest stockpile in the sale's history. Q2's Casey Conlon takes us inside for tonight's Positively Montana.
There are an estimated 20,000 books in this room right now, and it's barely a quarter of what the Central Christian Church hopes to get rid of over the next 2 weeks as their annual book sale returns after 18 months, making this one possibly the biggest of them all, or at least that's organizer Ron May's hope.
We'd hate to throw this party and have nobody show up, so we are delighted when we get the response we do get.
15 years ago, a couple hundred people showed up to the first sale May organized after being tasked with coming up with a fundraising idea.
I offered, how about a fireworks stand? That was too much work. So, okay, then what about a food cart at the fair? You know, that was way too much work. So then I offered, how about a book sale? Fine, that sounds good, go with it.
The sale has grown every year since and has completely enveloped the grounds.
You know, this just kind of takes over the building. We've got them in rooms here and Sunday school rooms and down the hallway, and I have been able to keep my office safe so far.
The next 2 weeks will be responsible for a third of the church's budget. Even more impressive when you consider they've never raised prices. 50 cents for a paperback, $1 per hardcover. It's a year-round job for the many volunteers.
Just about everybody in the church gets to work on it.
But nobody cares as much as May. A true perfectionist, even at age 87.
It is inevitable that you find something that should be somewhere else.
How often do you come down these aisles and do stuff like this?
Often.
Do you trust others to do this as well?
Oh, maybe.
No.
Are you trying to say I'm a control freak?
Of course not, Ron. Just a lover of books who wants to share that with the world.
Last year, I got somebody that called from Iowa, and they were coming through to the Northwest on their vacation, and they just wanted to know when the book sale was so that they could time their trip through Billings to stop at the book sale from Iowa.
We have been told that the book is dead, but we certainly have not seen any evidence of that, Casey.
And they never will, with May running the show. Casey Conlon, MTN News.
Thanks, Casey. Every single book, CD, game, and vinyl record at the sale is donated by the community. It'll be open for the next 2 weeks, Monday through Saturday, from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. each day at 1221 16th Street West. Casey says make sure you say hi and thank you to Ron. Still to come on the MTN 10 o'clock news here on Q2. Tonight, outcry from the capital city as a spree of vandalism strikes Helena, including one of its most iconic buildings. Then a little later in sports, we'll swing for the fences as the Mustangs are back in town for the first time in nearly 2 years. We'll hear from the new look squad coming up in just a bit.